Welcome to Food, Wine, and Whiskey, a podcast about having fun conversations on tasty dishes, vinos, and spirits from around the world. Rob is your host. He is an avid home chef, WSET Level 2 award in wine, and a whiskey drinker and collector. Time to set the table. Here's Rob.
Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of Food, Wine, and Whiskey in your own backyard. I am Rob, and back with me today, Carter, man, how you doing?
I'm good. It's good to be back, man.
You look tired.
Yeah, that having a kid thing. It's not good for your sleep schedule.
Yeah, well, having a child, and you've had a lot going on. New house, moving in, kind of overlapping to some degree. Where you've been going pretty hard for the last month and a half.
I've been. It's been a challenge, but baby's really good, and everything in the house is good, and
getting settled in.
Yeah, and I
getting a schedule.
I think I've showed you my whiskey room, so that helps a lot.
Oh yeah, is that your where you go for therapy?
Yeah, I think it's usually a nightly therapy.
Yeah, a little session going on.
Yeah,
you in a bottle.
Yeah, I mean, I got to clear out some space. I got new stuff coming.
Yeah, well, I've heard you do.
Yeah,
some really good new stuff coming.
So okay. Before I guess we get started on the topic, we can. You put a challenge in front of me, or
not necessarily a challenge. So this is I kind of had this whiskey last night, and I go, this is pretty good. And there's been other times where I've had this whiskey, and I go, it's all right. So I thought, coming out, and we're going to record today, and we're going to get into the football food kind of here in just a second. But before that, I thought, let me pour Carter this pour after I had it last night. I said, I want to kind of, maybe it's been a while for you, maybe it hasn't.
Okay.
But I'll just kind of, without seeing the label, kind of, what's your thoughts on this whiskey?
Comes from the Buffalo Trace Distillery.
One wrong.
Really?
No, you got it right.
I was going to say, this is like...
It's pretty telltale,
yeah.
Huh?
It's not high. It's not proofy. It smells...
Have you sipped it yet or just nosed it?
It's just by the nose. All right. Bottoms up.
Well, I don't know about that. It has been a tough month, huh?
Okay. Tastes like Eagle Rare. Could be a really good Buffalo Trace store pick. Tastes a little bit better than a Buffalo Trace store pick.
Okay.
My guess would be Eagle Rare on it, because I don't think it's a high proof. I think it's a 90 proofer.
You want me to tell you?
Yeah.
Okay. You're in the right family. You're in the right proof, but it's their weeded, not 10-year, 12-year.
Oh, okay.
So this is well at 12.
It's really good.
I think so too. I had this last night, and I said, you know what? We see a lot of people posting about Weller 12 on secondary sites. I've heard about these things, not really ever seen one.
It's got a great nose. I mean, I'll say that. The nose is
I had
really
it last
nice.
night, and I went, I see a lot of people kind of crap on it, and for secondary price, I get it.
Yeah.
But when you can get this for $35,
oh, gosh.
To me, I was drinking this last night while I was cooking, and I went,
it's a total
steal. If you get this at retail, this is a great whiskey.
Are you kidding me?
Weeded bourbon.
If you can actually find this at retail, it's great.
Yeah.
I think the problem is the secondary market, that people automatically buy these and flip these because nobody can get them.
Nobody can get them. So nobody's drinking them is what we're saying.
Right. They're just bottles that just sit there and get traded.
They're trophies.
Yeah. But as a whiskey,
I thought it was fantastic.
I really like it.
I was curious, you not seeing it, and it's a nice warm-up pour for getting started today. So I just thought it would be fun to see what you thought.
You definitely can taste the age on it.
I think so.
The only negative I have on this is that it's a little thin. If it was more of a...
Wouldn't we like to see this about 100 proof?
If this was 100 proof, this would be such a banger.
Wouldn't it? Same with Eagle Rare.
Oh, gosh, yeah.
Both their mash bills.
I love it. I would love it. But anyway, it's a solid pour. So,
anyway, just a little fun to start the show.
People knock it, but it's still pretty freaking good.
But I don't think they knock it. I think they knock it... They don't knock it based on the whiskey. I think they knock it based on, undue... kind of shitting on because of the secondary market.
Yeah. I mean, that's fair.
Because I think if you gave this to blind to most people, they'd go, "That's a solid bourbon right there." That's
delicious. I don't think anybody would turn their nose.
No, I don't either. But you show them a label, they're like, "I don't want that because it's Willet 12. That sucks."
Well, you can definitely tell the difference between this and Special Reserve. I mean, like
it's not even close.
If you've ever done like side by side, there you can definitely tell the difference.
Do you know the age of Special Reserve?
Probably like 4 years old.
Because it's the same whiskey.
It's probably like 4 years old.
Is that what it is?
Okay. I don't think it's old.
I was thinking, I know it's more than 2, but I didn't think it would be much more than 2.
But I'll say this. I mean, Antique is a different experience because it's just got, it's got the 107, and all that. But this is a solid pour. No doubt. No doubt about it.
So that's what we're sipping on to start while we get into this topic. And, we're into August, middle of August, and,
got a few weeks.
We got a couple of weeks before college football starts. Yeah. And to me, college and pro football are both, I enjoy both, but I would say I'm a bigger college football fan than I am a pro fan. And part of that reason is college football, for the most part, is on Saturdays.
I like Saturday better.
And it's all day long, and you can hang out all night, and you can have your drinks and watch football. And, I mean, it's just, football brings people together. Yeah. I mean, to me, it's like Saturdays in the fall. It's almost like a holiday every Saturday. It's a reason. There's a good game on, a good matchup, and it's a reason to get together with people, have some drinks, and cook some food.
I agree, and I'd say this in just a regional bias here, but I think it's even better in the South. Like, I think people just go nuts.
I think it's... Oh, you're talking about just kind of fanatics, the fan part of it. Okay, I thought you were leaning towards the food part of it.
No, it's more ingrained. I think it's just more ingrained in the culture that Saturday is college football.
Yeah, I think... Tell me if I'm wrong for having this thought. Part of that could be the South. I mean, we're never getting weather where we can't enjoy outside on a Saturday.
That's true.
Where, you have a window... For the most part, I think for college up north, you're good most of the season. I don't think anybody just gets bombarded with the snow and stuff till after January, for the most part.
Yeah, because really, like the Big Ten, their last game is on like Thanksgiving generally.
Yeah, that's when and then you get into bowl season. So it's not super bad. So I think for the most part, college football you get through it. Now pro football can be a different story because you get into the playoffs and everything. You're into February. Some of those places up north,
like Green Bay or
Buffalo
or something like that. But those games are so cool to watch.
They are. I mean, you get the wind blowing and the snow, and you see guys got to come out and sweep the field so you can know where the yard markers are and stuff.
I think I'd rather watch that game indoors.
No doubt about it. No doubt. On TV, yeah.
On TV. Yeah. That may not be the game that I want to tailgate for, but those are fun to watch games.
Funny how up north, for the most part, no domes. You go down south where it's nice weather and all kinds of domes
everywhere.
Yeah. I saw somebody making fun of the Astros the other day because they've played in air conditioning all summer long. Down here in Houston.
Would you want to play in the heat down here?
No.
Oh,
but, then you go to another market that doesn't have it, and you're like, oh, it's brutally hot out here. You're not used to it.
Well, yeah. Well, I mean, even the Rangers up until their new stadium,
outdoors.
They were outdoors. I mean, could you imagine Dallas in the summer? Like, screw that, man.
I'm with you. And Dallas is, it's bad, but it's not as bad as Houston. I mean, I don't know. Maybe it is. Maybe you can't tell the real difference, but it's not, Houston's just... Thick humidity is what kills you.
It's so thick, in the air and everything. But anyway, well,
let's jump into college. I'm going to focus more on college because, again, I think this is more of that Saturday kind of all-day kind of thing, where you have people over. And I love when you get a Saturday, even if it's not my team, but you go, man, we've got 3 top 10 matchups. And now they're pretty smart with television scheduling where they go, you got one at 11:30 in the morning, one at 2:30, and one at 6:30 or 7 at night. And it's like, freaking great day. What are we going to do? Yeah. So this is kind of what we're talking about is when you have those kind of days, what can you plan to do? And,
I say even you begin before that, college game day. You wake up watching the college game day a little bit.
Yeah, that's a great point. 9:30 in the morning, you're turning it on going, let me start getting my football fix.
Yeah, exactly.
Absolutely. But I think when you talk about college or football food, getting together with people, it's kind of that backyard cookout kind of food for the most part. Which is your classics, the hamburgers, cheeseburgers, I think hot dogs, wings are always up there.
Oh, yeah.
You got to have the wings.
Yeah.
And I think pizza falls into that category. Even if you're not making it at home, a lot of people on a Saturday.
You order it.
Yeah, you make a lot of finger foods. You say, let's order, 3 or 4 or 5 pizzas, whatever, for the crowd. And that's always kind of a go-to, a staple.
Yeah, I think it's an easier way to do it, But
you're saying lazy? Easy? Lazy?
Maybe not lazy. I mean, trust me, there's something to be said for not having to cook all day.
Totally agree.
And enjoy the game. And a lot of things that I have kind of on my list is a lot of stuff you can do ahead of time.
And I think you bring up a great point, which is kind of what I was thinking about. Football food is, to your point you just said, things that you can make and have ready that you're not having to continue to cook as people come, people leave, or somebody wants something again. You got to throw them. If you want to cook a bunch of hamburgers, you can throw them in the oven, keep them at 170, and they stay warm. Whatever. So yeah, you're right. That kind of food is what we're talking about. How do you feed a crowd without being stuck with an apron and a spatula in your hand all day?
Absolutely, dude. I mean, to me, and another point that I like to make is handheld foods. Finger foods.
Yeah,
even for me, kind of some of the things that I came up with, even as desserts, cupcakes, cookies, brownies, things like that. You don't want to have a cake that you have to slice and all that kind of stuff.
I do have one category of food that I think is for me a big one that requires utensils, but I don't think you're going to push back on me too much.
I may not.
We'll get into them in just a few minutes. But
do you want to start out with kind of the appetizer stuff, or do you want to start out with the mains and kind of trickle into the appetizer?
Which way you want to go? What you feeling?
Let's start with the mains.
Okay, I agree. Let's start top down.
So for me, and I kind of just rattle off a couple of them. You've already rattled off most of them, to be honest. But burgers, I kind of like sliders better.
Okay, see, now I put sliders in a different category.
Okay.
Because, well, you go ahead. Go ahead.
But my thing was on the sliders, it's a more of a handheld type thing. It's quick, you can have a few different things, I think that's kind of the name of the game, is being able to try a whole bunch of stuff.
Totally agree.
So that's definitely on my list.
But sliders, when I think sliders, it's not cooking small burgers or chicken or anything like that. When I'm going to do sliders, it's think the Hawaiian rolls.
Oh, yeah.
You take that whole out, you cut it in half, and now you're putting it in a baking dish, and you're building that slider, and you're baking it. So when it comes out, whatever it is, 12, 16 sandwiches are done.
It's a good way to do it.
You do 3 different versions of that, and now you've got a sandwich platter going on.
So this... I wasn't going to mention this, but I'm going to mention it because I have it actually as one of my kind of dips that we like to do. But we have done buffalo chicken sliders. And so what we'll do is we'll just get a rotisserie chicken and then some cream cheese and hot sauce and stuff like that, and bake it on those Hawaiian rolls. Cut those up.
That's a great idea.
Yeah, Yana, my wife, she likes to do that one.
Because you say buffalo chicken, I'm going, oh man, breading this and that.
It's too much.
That version that's a great idea for sliders.
So that's one of those sliders that I like. But I also we have done it to where we've done. I think we did it based on a tasty menu or a tasty thing. It was we did a full sheet pan of ground beef, cooked it in the oven, and then put it on top of the Hawaiian roll, sliced all the Hawaiian rolls in half, and then just individually cut all the burgers out. Worked out great.
Oh, that sounds great.
So that's another little idea that that we do. But I'll mention just a couple other ones. Wings, it goes without saying.
Yeah, that's a staple for football. If you're going to do wings, and to me, you can cook those, but I'm probably going to order wings.
Yeah.
Time I go through all the,
too.
if it's a football day, I might make a bunch of snacky finger snacks and stuff, because football day to me is, you kind of have that main dish that we're talking about, but then you got to have other things, because, once you eat that, you got to go back and snack all day long. So
I agree with you. And honestly, just, I wish they sponsored us, but like Wingstop wings are pretty freaking good.
Well, not only are their wings good,
They're French fries.
their French fries are
really
good
too.
Yeah, that's probably my favorite French fry.
So another one that I like, particularly as the weather starts kind of changing, getting a little cooler. I like a good brat to do. And I do mine kind of in. So I actually do mine in a pan. Crack open a can of beer, put them into the pan, and reduce that beer enough to make almost like a glaze on the brats.
Yep.
And that's my little go-to method.
Love that. Me and Dave talked about that, and we did the hot dog episode
Yeah.
that was out last week, and I don't know why I don't do those that much anymore. I mean, I can't remember the last time I made bratwursts, and I used to do them exactly that way, boiling them in beer. And my method, I think if I'm understanding you, is boil first, then grill.
Yeah.
That's how I do it. Dave says he grills, then he throws them in the beer.
Oh, yeah. No,
So I feel like you kind of,
opposite.
it's not absorbing as much. You've got that crust, but I didn't want to tell Dave.
Yeah, that's okay. That's okay. and you throw them on the grill after they get done. And,
Yeah.
and just to kiss them.
Yeah,
Just
just-
to put
yep.
a little texture on the outside.
Yep.
And honestly, you have no excuse for not making brats, because if you go to any HEB in town, they have fantastic selection of bratwursts that they make in house and they're cheap.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
I like a bratwurst, and to me it tends to lean toward more of the cold weather type stuff. I don't
Agree.
know.
You think Wisconsin up north, they eat a lot of brats and stuff? Yeah.
That kind of thing.
Maybe that's it. Maybe down south we just don't, brats aren't the thing down here. Could be.
I mean,
Jambalaya is.
late October.
Yeah.
November.
Yeah.
But I put another one on here, and I don't know if you feel this way, and it's more of the cold weather type stuff. Chili.
It's on my list.
I mean, that's just one of those. I think it's great. Feeds a crowd. You can prepare it ahead of time. It's just a great go-to.
Yep. Chili to me is one of my favorites, especially like you said when it starts to get cold. And this is football food, so we're going. You go from August, late August, early September, all the way through into December, January for college football, a little longer for pro. So
Well, let's just go ahead and say it too. If your chili doesn't have beans, then
it's not a meat sauce. We're not making condiment here. That goes on your
it
hot
goes
dog
on your bratwurst or something.
or your hot dog. Yeah, if it doesn't have beans, it's a condiment.
Yeah, but just want to piss off a few people who
Yeah,
listen here.
or help them out,
Or help them learn
give them the facts
the right way.
Yeah.
But what's cool about chili is you can do a whole chili bar type thing. You can spoon up the chili. You got the cheese. You can put cheese on top of it, crackers. You can do some sour cream. You could just you can make a whole a little fresh chopped green onion. Just kind of put on the top or something like that.
And chili, all these things are versatile that we're talking about, because chili is one that I go right away. I mean, you can make a chicken chili. You can do the regular ground beef. I make this kind of what I call a Mexican chili with chorizo and enchilada sauce instead of using tomato sauce, so to give it a little more spice and kick. So, I mean, all these things we're talking about. I mean, you can go different ways with it and make it fun. So,
and I'd say this isn't on my list, but I have been to a party that's kind of like this, and I thought that this was kind of cool. Of course, we're in Texas. Tacos. Like a taco bar type thing.
Okay, dude, you're stealing all my thunder, but keep going.
I'm sorry.
No, you're good.
We do not look at
we
our-
think alike, so I like where you're going. And I'm going to tell you, I was getting ready to tell you a moment ago, but I said I'm going to let him keep going. My key is bar.
Yes.
Something you can set up, have it all out, and people can come through and build what they're building.
Yeah.
And taco bar, perfect.
I mean,
Keep going.
tortillas, meat, cheese, and you can just set all that out. Let people do their own thing, and then it's fantastic.
And it's okay to get cheap on that day, depending on the size of your crowd. Now, if you
yeah.
want to have tortillas, you want to warm them up, you got one of those little pocket holders to keep them warm, fine. But if you want to go crunchy shell tacos and let them just fill it up with whatever meat and cheese.
I got no problem with that.
It's a football day, dude. You're
Hell
drinking
yeah.
and eating. It's perfectly fine.
I love it. I love it. I mean, big surprise. I love tacos.
What?
So, yeah. So, I mean, like, I just think, I think that's a great idea.
I'm going to piggyback off that. So Taco Bar is great. Fajita Bar. You can cook all your fajitas, keep them warm.
Same vein, yeah.
But it's a little bit more elevated from that taco.
If you want to spend a little bit more money.
A little bit more money. Or another one I like is I can kick the oven on at 350, leave it on. I've got, a bunch of, either pie pans or little cookie sheets. A nacho bar, man. You can have
Also
a couple
good.
different meats. You can come through, get your tostadas, build it up, throw it in the oven for 10 minutes, pop them out, throw them on your plate. Next guy, and just people come.
That's a
nacho bar.
I didn't think about that, and that's a good. And boy, just think about this: if you had chili, also you could do some like chili cheese nachos or something like that. So.
And when you were talking hot dog, a hot dog bar. You can cook all the hot dogs, and you can have your chili cheese, your sauerkraut, your coleslaw. Hot dogs wrapped in bacon. I mean, you can do whatever you want and have them ready to go.
I'll mention one more thing. Okay. It's a little bit more planning to it, but I do think that it's really good. And pulled pork, if you've got a smoker, like a pulled pork slider, a pulled pork sandwich type thing, if you got a smoker and you can smoke that the night before, warm it up the next day, have it ready,
I'm going to take the easy way out and go, you don't even have to smoke it.
You don't, no.
And the only reason I'm saying that, we're talking about like the shells for the tacos. You can go a little cheating, if you will. Pulled pork is just delicious regardless. If you have a smoker and you got the time, that's the best way to do it.
Yeah.
But don't think you have to have that smoker, because if you throw it in the oven and cook it for 4 hours in there, or in a crock pot. I've done them in a crock pot.
It's still really good.
Overnight, tender, and you're pulling that apart. You put out 4 or 5 different barbecue sauces, a little bowls. People can just mix up whichever barbecue sauce sounds good, some coleslaw. I'm with you. Pulled pork is a great option on a football day.
Oh, yeah. And I think it's just like, it's a crowd pleaser, right? I mean, pulled pork, a little, maybe a little crunchy slaw to go on top of it, like I said, choose your own barbecue sauce. Easy.
You're kind of going into you went into a category. I have one more. You tell me if it would be in that category or not. But you're going into the category of sandwiches, which I think there's nothing wrong with having sandwiches on a football day.
I agree.
But before we get into the sandwiches, would this fall in sandwiches or would it be something else? The quesadilla. Because you could do a quesadilla day where you're just building too, which is kind of fun. If you have a flat top, I have a flat top out back. You can just go out there and have the tortillas and all the stuff, build it, throw it on, toast it, done.
Yeah.
Cut it with a pizza cutter and off you go.
I love that. Yeah. I love that. And quesadillas are great. I mean, they're just
great.
Easy, quick, you crowd pleaser. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah. Which some people go, is it a sandwich or not? I don't know. Got 2 pieces of flour bready kind. I don't know. Is it a sandwich? I don't know.
I don't know. I just it's a class of its own. It's a quesadilla.
That kind of gets me into the sandwich category. I think sandwiches can be great on a sometimes you don't want the greasiness or something. So even just buying a couple loaves of bread and putting out a big spread of ham and Swiss and turkey and whatever and roast beef and whatever kind of some PB&J. I mean. Having a big sandwich bar is not a bad idea.
I'm a pimento cheese fan.
Pimento cheese, great sandwich.
So, I love stuff like that.
Make an egg salad.
Egg salad's good. I mean, sandwiches are 100% fine.
Yeah.
In my mind, at
least. Me too.
I mean,
it doesn't scream football food to a lot of people, but we're talking about things that you could consider that you might not think football food right out of the chute. Sandwiches are a great option.
Well, if you take, to me, for a football thing or for an event, you take the sandwich and you don't just cut it in half. You cut it into 4 pieces.
This is the double triangle cut.
Yeah, the double triangle.
That's right.
That's exactly
exactly what it is. You get your little triangles, which I like because now I can eat so many different varieties of sandwiches without, committing to a big sandwich.
Absolutely.
And sometimes, options are good. Having some littler, more of quantity, more things that I can try, take bites of, that trumps a lot of time for me. That trumps having one burger or one, this or that.
Right. I mean, if you do like a whole barbecue thing or whatever, to me, that's fine. But I think I'd rather just have a bunch of options to eat just a whole bunch of stuff.
Because it's all day.
Yeah.
I don't want to be like, and burgers are fine, but I don't want to be like at noon, like, hey, we're having burgers for lunch. Okay, 6 a.m. Time, I'm getting hungry again. You want another burger? It'd be nice to go, just a few different sandwiches and different stuff, some options.
Sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely, man. I love it.
Sandwiches, you can go as, you could do a panini day. If you got a panini,
great.
Paninis are, I've got a big panini press, but we're talking, if you have
a little bit more elevated.
It's a little bit more elevated. Crab cake sandwiches, Philly cheesesteak sandwiches are things you can do. But again, that's going to be your main meal. Then you're not eating again. Everything's finger foods and snacky stuff after that. You're not going to be cooking Philly cheesesteaks all day long.
Right.
You're getting a head count and you're cooking for that crowd, and then you're done, and everything else is just filler.
I agree. I agree. And you mentioned it earlier. I don't know if you have it on your list. Like some of the things that our neighbors over here in Louisiana, they like to do like a jambalaya or a gumbo or something like that.
So the category I have is
soups.
When you guys start getting into cold weather, you can make a big pot of something. To your point, go ahead.
Yeah, just a big pot of gumbo, or heck, you get jambalaya. It feeds a lot of people. It's it's easy for the most part. I think kind of chili falls into that category.
That's where I had chili listed, and who doesn't like a Frito pie, dude?
Oh, a walking taco, if you will.
Yeah, I like that. I've never heard the walking taco. I like that. But just naming a couple that we like to do. Chicken tortilla soup's always one that we enjoy making. You can have it all ready to go, and you can make just big batches of this stuff because again, you're thinking about foods that when the crowd shows up, it's ready for the most part. You're just kind of assembling. You're not cooking.
Yeah,
and soups are great.
I think soups are great, and just stuff that you can put into the oven. You make it the night before, you put it in the oven.
Oh yeah,
you take it out, boom, eat.
And chilies, you can make that 3 days before.
Oh, it might even be better.
Most soup, a lot of times you're right. But soups in general, you can make a day or two before, whatever, no big deal.
Yeah.
So, soup category I really like. I do want to get back to sandwiches, and I wanted to mention one thing that I'd written down.
Okay.
What I think is a good idea sometimes, talking about different sandwiches. You can get a big hoagie, like a 1.5 or 2 foot hoagie, or you can get, whether you want to use a baguette or whatever kind of vessel that's, more than a foot, maybe 2 foot, and make, 3 to 4 different sandwiches, 5 different sandwiches, slice them up. And just like that, you've got, a 6-8 foot sandwich. You're not paying $150 for it. You've got your variety. I think when you think about sandwiches, that's a great way to go. You make a big sandwich, cut it 8 times, do that 5 times, and you got all kinds of choices there.
Yeah, that definitely, man. And I've done that before, where you get the big hoagie roll.
Oh yeah.
You put you get maybe 3 of them.
And
you do 3
depending on your crowd.
Sandwiches, cut them into the little small
3-inch, 4-inch slice. You don't want to commit to one sandwich, so you want it to be small.
So that's good.
Yeah.
And honestly, you can take those sandwiches, put them in the oven, kind of toast them a little bit, and get the cheese all melted and everything, and pretty good.
Absolutely. I don't have one, but you bring that up, and it might be worth having. Is one of those little countertop toaster ovens that you could just kind of keep sliding in, toast it, pull it out, not having to deal with the big oven.
Friend of the show, Chris Francis, has that.
Oh,
and I've been to many football parties at his house.
Yeah.
And that is utilized heavily.
That's how he does it. That would be my thought on the way to do that. Good job, Chris.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed.
But back to soups, I think, chicken tortilla, chilies, gumbos, chowders. There's all kinds of stews and soups and chickens, which on a colder day, those hit the spot.
Oh, yeah.
But my favorite might be a combination of the soup and sandwich, making a homemade tomato basil with a badass grilled cheese.
I don't think football when I think of that, but
on a cold day.
On a cold day, I think that is one of the best combos of all time.
Yeah. Again, you don't think football when you think chicken tortilla soup.
No.
But on a colder day, you're like, I'm going to have people over. What do we want to make? These are things that you don't really think about that you go, because, we got a lot of Saturdays in a football season.
Oh, yeah.
If you're getting together twice a month, you don't want to cook burgers and hot dogs and that wings every time you get to. It's nice to have a little variety, and that's kind of what we're
I
trying.
agree.
Yeah,
I agree with you there. So yeah. I mean, usually we have like a little bit of a debate here, but I don't think we're having much of a debate on the items.
One last thing I thought might be fun. I've never done this, but I thought I don't know why I haven't, and it's in the bar category.
Oh,
you ready?
Okay.
Baked potato bar.
Dude, that's a great idea.
You can get pulled pork. You can get some chopped brisket. You could get bacon. You could get 2 or 3 different meats and build this potato bar that could be, to bake potato, you could do those ahead of time and have 10, 12, 15 potatoes done.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
Actually, I really hadn't even thought of that.
I've never done it, but as I was thinking about this topic today for the podcast, I was trying to think of things that would be cool, and it kind of popped in my head. So this football season, it may happen, but a potato bar could be fun.
Ooh, man, that'd be really good.
Yeah.
Dude, can you imagine if you had like some pulled pork and threw that on top of there? And,
a chopped brisket, or you could do, you could take a buffalo chicken that you were talking about, dress that up and put it on a potato. I'd eat it.
It's a great
some
delivery
sour cream
method for lots of different foods, right?
Yeah.
So one of the things that I really like, kind of in the same vein, is loaded potato skins.
Oh, now we're getting into snacks and finger foods.
Yes.
Go.
So,
I like the transition. Nicely done.
So we went from the potato bar to the potato skin.
Yes.
Dude.
Yes.
That's hard to beat, right? I mean.
Oh, I'm a huge fan of the potato skins.
I mean, potato, cheese, sour cream, a little bacon on the top.
Yep.
Yeah, I like a green onion,
Oh, yeah.
And dude, come on.
No, solid snack food. I mean,
it's just.
I don't care if that gets cold. It's still edible.
Still
good. It tastes. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so snack foods. I've got a few different things, and I'll mention this. This is a little bit more of like elevated type, but I'd say like a charcuterie board is just, what's on yours? But I'd say this is not like, if you were gonna have like 30 people to your house,
Probably not going to do
that, because that's going to
got
cost
4 or
you a
5
fortune.
people coming over to watch a Saturday.
That's a good thing. I like that a lot.
And depending on how you want to do the charcuterie board, it could be your whole meal.
Yeah, and we've done that before.
We've done that. You can load up a charcuterie board, and it's just like all day long, you're just picking.
I love that.
Absolutely.
That's super fun.
Yeah.
And I hope you have this on your list, because it's something that you make that I really like.
Okay.
That pistachio thing.
Yes.
Dude.
So that's my fig and goat cheese dip.
Oh, that's so good.
Yeah.
So good.
With the toasted pistachios on top.
Also, a little more elevated, but damn, it's good.
But again, dips and things, these are things, if you're going to somebody's house, you could take and would be a hit. Maybe you're going as a guest, you're not hosting.
Yeah.
So some of these dips and snacks and finger foods are things that you might be able to contribute because they're doing the main dish and you're taking something.
So I'm just going to rattle off a couple of them here, and then I'll let you kind of go. So taco dip is one of my faves. I don't know if you ever did that or not.
Oh, yeah.
I would not consider it authentic.
No.
But it's,
well, what is your taco dip?
Well, I mean, it's just like like ground beef, beans, like lettuce, that kind of stuff, and you just scoop it up with a chip, and that's it.
Okay.
I don't know if that's anything that anybody eats in Mexico, but I sure do like it.
Oh. Well, it's right in line with one that I think is a very underrated dip that should get more love. And maybe it's just the people I'm hanging around with don't eat it as much and I don't eat it as much as I should. I love this dip when I see it or get it or make it. And it's kind of similar. That's why I asked you what's the taco dip. It's the 7-layer bean dip.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah.
That's a
the
good
guacamole,
one.
The sour cream, the beans, hot salsa.
Similar
kind of thing. That's why I wanted to ask you. I'll just throw that one out now since it's kind of in that category.
We talked about it before, but sometimes instead of doing those sliders, we do like a buffalo chicken dip,
which I think is fantastic on my list.
Another thing that I really, really like is bacon wrapped jalapenos with the cream cheese inside. Cook those. You can set them out. You're done.
The jalapeno popper.
Yeah, essentially. Pigs in a blanket are another go-to. I mean, easy.
And again, versatile. You can do many different variations of a pig. Doesn't have to just be that, what's the little smoky that you put in the
crescent roll.
You can change it up. You can do a hot dog in there with some cheese and jalapenos wrapped in it, or, whatever.
You can make it as simple as the smoky, or you can get as elevated
Absolutely.
as you want with it. I might get some heat for this one, but I really like the meatballs.
Dude, I don't know what to say. I mean, we are just, I feel like I could just go somewhere and have a drink and you can just keep talking because my list is dwindling fast.
I mean, now how do you do yours? So the way I do mine.
Crock pot.
Yeah, same. Crock pot with grape jelly
and barbecue sauce. Yep. And keep them on warm. People can come in 2 or 3,
I love them.
Absolutely.
And so those are just kind of some of the ones that I thought of that I really like.
Other things you can make are taco cups.
Yeah,
those
are cool.
In the little. But you didn't mention one on the dips that is a absolute staple that you have to have.
Have we gone to dips yet?
Well, you were mentioning.
Okay, I guess it did. Okay,
fig and goat cheese and all those. So I was like, ooh, he didn't mention queso.
Oh, it's on my list.
It's on your list.
Yeah.
Okay.
Queso and guacamole are on my list.
Okay, same here. So queso is a must, and again, it's a fun one where you can make it.
Oh yeah.
Depending on your crowd, how you want it, but I know people put it, breakfast sausage in there to spice it up a little bit with some meat, or just go straight, hot salsa. We make a very hot green salsa that we put it in it, and we like it. The hotter, the better.
I got zero problems with the can of Rotel and Velveeta.
The hot Rotel.
Yeah, the hot Rotel.
And Velveeta, I mean, I'm talking queso that's your cheese.
Yeah.
What else? Look, on a football Saturday, I'm not going and buying Gruyere and all these other things and trying to make this fantastic. We're going to be hanging outside watching. We're not focusing on food. This is stuff that you're just going to be eating and stuffing your face with all day while you drink and watch football. So there's not a lot of thought to it. Having said that, I'm never disappointed with the Velveeta.
I think the Velveeta is fine.
It's a great cheese for queso. I mean,
and just a pro tip here, I'd go ahead and throw half a block of cream cheese in there too.
Okay, I've never done that. Does that what does it do to it?
It kind of just makes it less Velveeta-y,
a little richer.
A little richer.
Okay, all right.
But I like the like throwing some chorizo or something like that in there. That's
absolutely, yeah, because you want a little meat, if you want a little more substance to it.
Yeah.
So if we weren't on, were we on snacks? Is that what we were on?
I guess we're just on snacks in general.
Snacks and dips?
Yeah.
I make a Chex Mix that I like to have out. A big bowl of Chex Mix.
That's a good one.
Throw it in a bowl. We said the taco cups. I think, again, a little elevated. If you want to have something out on the table, some stuffed mushrooms.
Ooh, that's good.
You get some different cheese and meat and put inside a little
My
mushroom
wife's gonna
cap.
listen to this and be like, I'm out.
Oh, yeah, she's not going to eat that. That's a good point. Thinking about dips, though, salsa's got to be on there.
Yeah. I think it's kind of the trio. You got to have the queso, you got to have the guac, and you got to have the salsa.
Yeah, and we might be talking. Well, I think that's kind of up north too, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean,
or are they going to do more of the? I think salsa's all over that.
I mean, salsa. They probably just have shittier selections.
Sorry, Carter just said that up north, people. He didn't mean it.
No, I love you guys. You guys probably cook brats a lot better than we do. I will say, in Houston, Texas, you can find some pretty gourmet-ass salsas.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I'm trying to think of that salsa, that commercial I used to laugh at. New York City. What was the salsa?
Old El Paso.
Yeah. You made me think of that with the shitty salsa up north.
But anyway, we love you northern people.
Yeah. Okay. Here's a let's see. I'm trying to see if I've covered everything on my dips and snacks, and I think we have. Meatballs is, to me, it's just so easy. It's a good one. The pigs in a blanket I absolutely love. I'm trying to think if there's
I got another one for you.
Go ahead.
Block of cream cheese, pepper jelly on the top.
Pepper jelly or the candied jalapenos.
Oh, those are good too.
Yes, either one. Block of cheddar or cream cheese and whatever you want to put on top. Yeah, I'm with you.
I mean,
and how easy is that? You can put 3 different ones out.
Yeah, and they're good.
And it's cream cheese.
You know what's crazy? Like, if I go to a party and there's all of this food out, I would probably take a bite of that almost first.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I'm just like drawn to it.
I love it. Yeah.
Okay, so we haven't mentioned the one category that I think some people might be going, "You idiots! This is at every football party."
Okay,
you ready?
Go for it.
The different bags of chips.
Okay,
right. You got to have some. A lot of times, potato chips, depending on which category you're kind of going
obviously, we've mentioned the guac and stuff. You got to have tortillas.
Tostadas. But I'm talking about you might put out, some Doritos or whatever, having some flavored barbecue chips or whatever, just a snacky kind of food. I think potato chips are an easy one that's, not expensive, and you can just put them out and they're munchies. A lot of times people are just eating just to eat, not really that they're.
Yeah, and I'd also say, I'm kind of leaning toward a couple of different chips that I like at parties. And Ruffles, definitely one for me. Like, I like they're a little more substantial than like a Lay's.
Okay, but are you talking about the plain potato chip?
Just the plain ones for...
Can I tell you?
The potato chip is king?
That's the best chip you can get. The plain potato chip. The Ruffles, whatever you like, but I'm with you. My point is, you and I are locked in today.
Yeah, when you're right, you're right. I mean, that's like...
I guess I'm not used to being right all like this.
I will say, this is another chip that I really like, but the Fritos Scoops.
Okay, the corn chip.
Yes.
Is... when we do top 5 bags of chips, it will be on my list. The corn chip is one of my favorites. Absolutely.
So good.
Yeah. Oh, and it's one, if you said, hey, we're going to have salsas and this and that, do I want that big old scoop or do I want tostadas? I'll take that scoop all day long.
I agree. And, man, if you had that chili. Dude.
But even with a queso with some.
Oh, yeah. Great. Fantastic.
Yeah, the corn chip, great call.
You got to go
That's
there.
a great chip.
Another dip that I'm kind of like leaving out, but I just really like it. It's so super basic, but French onion dip.
Yeah, I kind of had that listed as my classics. You get that French onion, you get a ranch dip, you get kind of that queso version of a whatever, sour cream dip, whatever it is. Those are kind of the classics.
Really good,
you know what? They are good. The problem is, you get one of those containers, about, a third of a bag, and I've scooped out all that dip. I can go pretty heavy on it.
It's pretty good.
It's pretty good.
But yeah, I like that. And then another thing I was thinking of was just, and this is just me, Southern roots, but, and I grew up with a lot of parties that just had pimento cheese there. You could just spread onto either like a cracker, or dip with a chip, or something like that.
Pimento cheese is a great, a great dip. I'll call it. A spread, or whatever you want to call it. We get together quite a bit, and we always have. Yeah. HEB here makes a great in-house homemade pimento cheese, so I'm always buying that.
Do you know what makes it better?
The shredded cheese? I don't know. What makes it better?
They put a little bit of dill in there.
Do they really?
Yeah.
I've never tasted that.
Yeah. They put like just a hair of dill in there, and I think that's a game changer.
I love their in-house homemade pimento cheese. I never go buy that.
Good. So I make my own pimento cheese, but damn, you kind of look at the I guess it's the juice versus the squeeze here.
Yeah.
And you just buy the HEB one, and it's not quite as good, but it's pretty freaking good.
And you're done. You ain't going home and it's probably a little bit less when you're starting to buy blocks of cheese and stuff. So
yeah,
to me, kind of have that rule. Whenever you can find a quality product like that is already made, buy it.
Go ahead.
If you can't find something quality, then make it at home because you can do it better. That's kind of been my rule.
Yeah.
That's a great one. Another one that I like as a dip, and I was just thinking about this, is have you ever had the cowboy caviar?
Yes, I like that. I like that a lot. I like the corn and the beans and all that kind of stuff. I think that's good.
Yeah, I think that's a fun one. What about, we didn't really do sides. I mean,
I've got a list on that too.
Okay, so let's jump into, because if we're going to do sandwiches and
you want to have some sides.
and again, this is going to be kind of that. I'm thinking that what you would think about for a backyard cookout, other than the pizza category.
Mine is a pretty short list, but I think these are all kind of like staples. I have one wild card.
Okay.
So.
And I'm going to ask, are you going the same way I am with sides, where it's make a big batch of it ahead?
Yes.
It's not like we're frying French fries on the day of.
No, I can.
Even if you're having a hamburger, my point is we're not cooking fries the day of. We're going to have something that's ready to serve when people get their burger.
Absolutely.
Yep, well, I'm with you.
So mac and cheese is one that I have.
Great one.
You can make a big pan of it, put it in, pull it out. Good to go.
Yeah, you can do 4 boxes of blue box mac and cheese, and you're good to go.
You can do that too. Potato salad.
Absolutely.
I think it's just. But honestly, make your own potato salad.
Totally agree.
The stuff that you buy at the grocery store.
Use more mustard than mayo.
Agreed. Stuff you buy at the grocery store is just not good.
It's crap. Plus, sometimes they put fresh onion, and you might not want that.
I know you don't, but honestly, it's just not that.
No,
good,
I agree. I agree. I've never been happy with and you can buy it by a gallon for $4. That ought to tell you something.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And another one, I like it, and particularly we're in Texas. I like a good ranch style bean. Something that like a.
I'm going to put that in the same category as a baked bean, ranch style beans.
Beans.
Yeah,
I think beans are great.
I do too.
And they're just kind of a staple. My one wild card. This is something that I make a lot. It's a corn casserole. So actually, I make it with. It's very simple. It uses a can of whole kernel corn, can of cream corn, a box of Jiffy cornbread mix, and I think there's some sour cream in there. And then I cook it. You mix it together. You literally put it in the oven, and then at the end, I usually put a little cheddar cheese on the top of it and toast it up to where it's kind of got like a little.
Never had that. Sounds pretty good.
It's freaking good.
So okay, I have 2 that I think are also worthy of mentioning for these types of events. One is a good macaroni salad.
I do like that. I don't think of it much, but I do like it.
Yeah, and the other is a good pasta salad. Where you're cutting up the red and green bell peppers. You got your pasta. You cube up some good cheeses, and you put in there, and it's a kind of a vinegar kind of dressing over it, and it's refreshing but still filling. And it's not as it's a little bit heavy, but not super heavy. Not greasy.
I like that.
So pasta salad's one that we
salad's
like to do.
good.
Yeah,
I'd also throw like coleslaw, but make a good coleslaw. Don't just go buy a crap.
Coleslaw's a condiment. It's going on a hot dog. It's going on a pulled pork sandwiches. I don't know that I'm gonna make it to go. I'm gonna eat this as a side.
I like it as a side.
Do you really?
Yeah, I do like it as.
Maybe
a side.
I haven't had the right one.
But you gotta have don't just buy the garbage that's in a bag and mix it up together. It's just not that good. Get yourself I've done like a vinegar, like more of a vinegar style, like more of a North Carolina slaw type style.
Are you all purple cabbage?
I do like the all purple cabbage.
Yeah.
I think that's really good. But just a regular mayonnaise based one is fine too. But just
I think they both have their place.
Get a head of cabbage is like $1.
Yeah.
I mean, go over there, get yourself a mandolin, just grate it up yourself.
Yep.
And it takes so little time to do it.
I don't think we've really missed anything.
I think that, I did mention the desserts.
And I agree with you there. You're going to go steal that kind of finger dessert.
One wild card, I'll say, that I like is a good cobbler. Something you could just get a ladle of it.
And I'll say this. I'm okay with having to use utensils because they should be plastic.
Yeah.
And paper plates. On these kind of days,
oh, yeah.
You're not trying to get plates and things out. So it's okay to have, we have a little carrying stand thing that holds your knives, forks, and spoons, plastic. Yeah. And then behind it, you put all the napkins. So when people go through, they get their plate. And So there's nothing wrong with that. I agree with you. A cobbler.
That's a really, something that you just pop in the oven, you done,
Or even if you wanted to pick up a couple pies and you throw them in the oven and cook them or whatever, something like that. You baked a cake, fine. To me, I'm okay with that. The food part of it is, I think that's the more finger. You can finish with a dessert.
Yeah.
Because ice cream might go good with some apple pie or cobbler or something.
That's what I was thinking. I mean, just go ahead and spend the extra money, get the Bluebell homemade vanilla, because that's really the...
Vanilla bean?
Vanilla bean is freaking... I'm saying homemade vanilla because I know that's available at almost every state. Gotcha. But here...
Vanilla bean.
Yeah. They used to have one. I don't know if they still have the Mexican vanilla. That one was really good, too. But
how do you feel about football season starting in August, September, still hot in Houston and in the South? What about some really good ice cream sandwiches that you just have as a dessert that day?
I'm totally good with it.
Are you an ice cream sandwich guy?
I love ice cream
sandwiches.
Me too.
Favorite kind of handheld ice creams?
So I was thinking of an episode that we could potentially do.
Then we'll hold off.
We'll hold off.
A little teaser there.
Yeah, but it'll involve the ice cream.
Okay, I like where you're going. All right, well, that's our thoughts on football food. Man. It's here.
Doesn't it get you kind of excited for it?
Man,
too?
I was saying it to Dave Scott, when was it, Friday night, that I am so looking forward to not just football season. Football season, it'll be fun to get together on Saturdays while we're inside because it's too damn hot to be outside right now. But once it cools down, man, there's nothing like being out back, the grills and stuff going, or a food spread set up, enjoying a nice cool day, football on, friends over, drinks are being had. This is it's my favorite time of the year, football season.
I love it. Yeah. I absolutely. Fall is one of my favorite times of the year, hands down. If anybody listens to the show, they know Thanksgiving's my favorite holiday.
Yep.
So that falls that's in fall.
Yep.
And football and cooler weather. And I mean, like when we get, we just get hit with heat so hard.
Oh,
here
this year's been brutal.
Been really bad. So when you get that first like little October where it dips into like the 60s or something like that, you're like, ooh, baby, it's about to get fun here.
Yeah, and we go through our whole season for the most part. It's shorts and a long sleeve shirt. I mean, we never really get to a point where we're
not like bundled up.
No, so we're outside and back, all the time.
Oh yeah,
I'm drooling, man. I'm looking forward to that time of year. Well, we're still 3 months away.
Well, I just got the pool with the heater in it.
Well, that's a nice thing to have.
So I'm thinking
throw that on Thursday. By Saturday, you're good to go.
Yeah. I'm thinking I've got my outdoor kitchen. I've got my pool. I'm ready.
Have you ordered the pizza oven?
It will happen. It will happen.
I will tell you, for a Saturday football day with a smaller crowd,
the
unis are great. You're not going to do it for 12, 15 people. But if you got 6 people coming over and you're going to cook some pizzas, it's a lot of fun while the ball game's on. You can still kind of do it and watch. And the uni pizza, I mean, we don't get any kind of sponsorship, or we're not getting anything for a plug, but I'm going to give them a plug. I've had it for almost a year. I have my big brick oven. I don't even fire that thing up. I haven't for so long.
The uni's just so convenient.
It's just convenient, and it cooks a really good pizza.
Oh, yeah.
So, note to people out there who love pizza but haven't thought about making their own, you might want to consider that.
Hey, Uni, if you want to sponsor us, go ahead.
There you go. Shout that out.
Yeah, but I'm Team Uni.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Absolutely. All right, man. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah, absolutely, man.
Talking food, always fun.
This kind of food? This is like some of my favorite kind of foods.
Absolutely. I think most people would.
Oh, yeah.
Thanks, everybody, for listening to this episode of Food, Wine, and Whiskey in Your Own Backyard. And until our next episode, enjoy your next pour.
Cheers, everybody.